I'm tired of people pretending that legitimate criticism of federal abuse is universal criticism of law and order. So I have a problem with this. So this remark that he made, I've never really kind of taken a position one way or the other on Pence. I mean, I think that when he was vice president, when they were in office, I thought that he played his role well. I thought that he served Trump well as kind of a milquetoast. And I don't mean that as a pejorative. Normally it would be. I don't mean that as a pejorative. My point is that Trump had this huge personality, and you can't have somebody else that also has a huge personality. This is not going to work. And so I thought he served his position well. But when he comes out and does this, I don't even know why he needed to say this. Calls to defund the FBI are just as wrong as calls to defund the police. I don't think that comparing local law enforcement to a federal bureau is where Pence or any Republican wants or ought to go with this. And like I said, I'm so tired of pretending that any kind of legitimate criticism of federal abuse is total and universal criticism of all law and order. Yes, the Republican Party is the party of law and order, but classifying parents who speak out at school board meetings as domestic terrorists, is that law and order? Doctoring emails to obtain surveillance warrants on innocent Americans, is that law and order? Leaking to the press over and over and over and over again, as James Comey did and as Andy McCabe did, is that law and order? What about sheltering criminals and their politicians who take classified information that they don't have the statutory authority to take, and their staff, and just not even bringing charges, just kind of ignoring it? Is that law and order? Is fabricating probable cause to target political opposition, is that law and order? I'm curious. What about concocting entrapment plots? Is that law and order? I mean, my friend Tom Elliott over at Grabian has a list of 62 scandals, controversies, and acts of corruption. This is just in recent time. What about all of the instances, like how Comey was forced to apologize after an error, and I wrote about this. The FBI's background check allowed South Carolina murderer to buy a firearm. What were they too busy spying on Carter Page? Is that what they were too busy doing to follow that? Is that law and order? Texting each other about how to undermine a free and fair election, is that law and order? Having in your possession Hunter Biden's laptop and allowing everybody in the press to run down Americans who simply wanted to know what was going on and if there was a conflict of interest with the person running for the highest office in the land and his son's business activities, hiding that, is that law and order? I mean, I can go on and on and on. They promoted disinformation, that the laptop that was in their possession was disinformation. Is that law and order, former Vice President Mike Pence? I'm curious. What about, I mean, there's a number of how far do you want to go back? He says that the attacks must stop. Criticism is not an attack. I think that's a woeful response. Criticism is not an attack. What about the aforementioned politically motivated attacks on the American people that I just listed? Pence says that we have to reassure the American people, but I'm telling you, lecturing voters who are justifiably outraged over these actual, for real and existing abuses, like we're like whiny kids, that is not the way to do it. Pence could have come out there and said, we have 14 whistleblowers of rank and file who want accountability, and they are just as concerned as you are. He could have come out and talked about that. Instead, he decided to lecture everyone. Bad play, bad message, bad, bad, bad.